What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Austin coming back at you from Busted Trap Studios. This is episode 29 of Unfiltered Banter. Gonna be another quick 30-minute ep. This is kind of where we're at right now. Still rolling. Got some big things coming. Stay tuned. Right now, we're just gonna run over what we got going on. NCAA-wise, DeBoer, Washington's head coach, is on his way to Alabama. Alabama players are leaving in droves. We got a lineman we got a tight end from Alabama. We got a lineman from LSU, as the Tennessee Vols did. He's still iffy. He's on the school directory, but he's not officially announced that he's transferring yet, so I'm not sure what's going on there. More to come on that. Just more transfers, nothing outrageous. Alabama offensive line, Proctor transferred to Iowa. I don't really understand why he would do that. Arizona's head coach went to Washington, and a lot of their players are set to trade. The NCAA is investigating the Florida Gators for the Jalen Rashada recruitment. Alabama's quarterback, they had to back up, Sayin is transferring. Their safety Downs transferred from Bama to Ohio State. It's kind of where we've been. It's just kind of transfers. San Jose State's eyeing to hire the former Navy coach. Nothing too big in the NCAA. The biggest thing that it's kind of come out of the NCAA is, I guess it's kind of NCAA NFL news. Cliff Kingsbury is being interviewed for the job at, for the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. They're also thinking that maybe Buffalo is going to get Chicago, because they're thinking Chicago may get Caleb Williams. Reading something here got me distracted on Buffalo. We'll talk about Buffalo in a few minutes. The other biggest thing that I've seen is Miami tight end Cam McCormick said Thursday that he would return to play for the Hurricanes in 2024, his 9th season of college football. McCormick, who began his career at Oregon in 2016, missed significant parts of 4 different seasons due to injury, which, along with his redshirt year and the COVID year of 2020, allowed him to petition the NCAA for an unprecedented 9th season of eligibility. He announced his return on X on Thursday with the tagline, "The pursuit of excellence has no goal line," calling 2024 his last ride. McCormick, 25, was originally a 3-star prospect out of Bend, Oregon. He was a part of the 2016 signing class that included Justin Herbert and a national class in Oregon, signing class in Oregon that included Justin Herbert, and a national class that included Nick Bosa, Ed Oliver, Rashawn Gary, and Jalen Hurts, now all established NFL veterans. After redshirting as a true freshman at 16, McCormick played 13 games as a reserve in 2017. Then came a string of injuries: a broken leg in 18, followed by complications that cost him 19 and 20. That complications were due to some, I can't say the medical term, but it was some like medical thing where like you piss out your muscles and it turns brown. I'm not exactly sure what that is. But he's one of 3 players to get it at Oregon that year, and he didn't end up suing Oregon. It cost him the 19 and 20, and then the foot injury 2 weeks into the 2021 season. He was granted a 6-year eligibility in 19, then had another added in 20 when the NCAA gave extra seasons to all FBS players. In 22, McCormick finally was able to play a full season, appearing in 13 games with 6 starts and earning the Capital One Orange Bowl FWAA Courage Award for his perseverance. He was granted 8th and 9th years of eligibility, his 8th and 9th years of eligibility ahead of the 23 season before transferring to Miami, where he was reunited with Coach Mario Cristobal. He caught 8 passes for 62 yards for the Hurricanes last season, but he had to resubmit his waiver to the NCAA or to the ACC for a 9th year this offseason. The 9th year waiver was approved by ACC, and McCormick said it was an easy decision to return, noting that his goal is to play in the NFL. "I want to say I give it my best opportunity and best shot," he said. McCormick acknowledged the critics have suggested he shouldn't be playing, but he's saying he isn't going to be cut short by what people are saying, and hopes his story will be an inspiration to other players battling injuries. It's a long time. I mean, considering I graduated high school in 2014, and this man graduated, my sister's graduated, and he's still in college playing football. To me, that's crazy. Depending to each his own, man. Shout out to you. I hope you chase your dreams. I hope you get where you're going, and keep it up. South Alabama hired Major Applewhite as a head coach. Football right now is just kind of at a lull. It's not a whole lot going on. Obviously, the ACC's filing accuses FCS of breach of contract, so they're just suing each other back and forth. They're trying to leave. A lot of people are going to the draft. We've got a lot of people getting ready for the draft. The draft will be soon. It did get announced that I think July 24th, NCAA 24 is coming out. So I'll be super stoked for that. Expect some content. I will figure out how to do the streaming, and that will be streamed. Hopefully we can get Logan to do a couple seasons with us of Dynasty or something like that. Figure that out. Maybe even get G involved, because I know that was a game G loved. Also spoke to G. Maybe you can get him on. We're still waiting to talk to him. That's kind of it for the NCAA side of things. For the NFL side of things, last week we had the wild card round. Texans shellacked the Browns 45-14. Wasn't even close. The Dolphins got pretty much ass kicked by the Chiefs, but that game also, the cold weather did play a factor, because they're coming from Miami to playing in like -4, where they're telling people to stand on cardboard, and beers are freezing as soon as you crack them. So there's a lot going on there. The Packers kicked the shit out of the Cowboys. The Cowboys made it close, but the Packers really ran away with it the whole time. Mike McCarthy's job was on the line. We're not sure, but apparently Jerry Jones is keeping him, but he's not going to extend him. Dak looked really bad. The defense looked bad. It was just an overall shit game. The Lions beat the Rams. Logan's Rams are now done. They didn't fucking knock it off the wall. They tried really hard. They got in, so congrats to them. The Bills-Steelers game that was supposed to be Sunday, got moved to Monday. The Bills won 31-17. They had all kinds of fun in that stadium, kind of moving it around. And then the Buccaneers beat the shit out of the Eagles. Like, it was not even close. I don't understand what's going on in Tampa Bay, but Baker Mayfield's the right quarterback for that job, and I don't think anybody else can compete with that. This week, right now, the divisional round, we have the Ravens playing the Texans. It's 17-10 with 50 seconds left in the third quarter. And the Ravens are driving the ball down the field. Tonight, the 49ers play the Packers on Fox, so I'll be watching that game. The San Francisco's a 10-point favorite, but then the Cowboys were a pretty high favorite last week too, so who knows? The Buccaneers play the Lions tomorrow at 3. Can't wait to watch that. And then the Chiefs play the Bills tomorrow night. My ride is I want the Lions to come out completely. I think playing the Super Bowl. A lot of people are saying it's already been predicted that the Ravens and the 49ers are going to play each other. That's the way it's going to be. It's the colors that Logan was talking about in one of these. The colors are picked, and that's how it's set, and that's kind of where we're at. I don't believe in that bullshit. So that's kind of where we are with all of that. I'm riding the Lions. If the Lions win, they will play the 49ers or the Packers. And then if the Bills win, they'll play the winner of this game. I don't want the Chiefs to win. I think that dynasty is a little much. I think the Bills have a better defense than Miami, to be honest. Plus, Josh Allen doesn't want to lose. He wants to win. I wouldn't mind seeing a Bills-Lions, just due to all the kind of controversy between those two teams over time. The Ravens are a really hard team to beat, though. So the Texans are just one of those, like C.J. Stroud's kind of cool, the run they're going on. So it's going to be cool to watch them the next few years if they don't end up winning this game today. And, it all culminates to Super Bowl Saturday being the 11th, or Super Bowl Sunday being the 11th of February. So it feels like it gets later and later every year. NCAA basketball, I know that this is a big thing we've been going over. West Virginia just now upset number 3 Kansas in a dramatic fashion. Texas's head coach this week was mad. They got beat by UCF and they were doing horns down. A lot of stuff online was like, hey man, don't you realize that like if you come to the SEC, you're gonna get that? Like that's the easiest and the weakest thing that we're gonna do to you. So you better get ready. It's very funny. In my opinion, I think they're kind of babies about it. Horns down, horns up, whatever. Get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over yourself. We'll take a break while I pull up my shitload. I got some chips to try. I haven't tried these. These are wild protein chips. They are chicken and waffle flavors. It says they're chips crafted from real ingredients, including chicken breast, egg whites, and chicken bone broth. Chicken raised without antibiotics. Crispy chips crafted from antibiotic-free chicken breast and native tapioca starch. Very interesting. I guess they're keto, maybe. They're low carb. Your dietary fiber. So yeah, I don't know if you'd consider them keto, but they're worth a shot. They got 10 grams of protein. So. Smell like maple syrup. This is one of like the 3 flavors, and this is the most intriguing one to me. So. Whoa. Whoa, that is crazy. There's nothing bad in it either. Like, this is very interesting. It's almost like, it tastes almost like that's crazy. It says on the back of the bag here that Wild is the first chip bold enough to create a delicious chip crafted from 100% all-natural chicken breast. Our light and crispy chicken and waffles flavor are the perfect blend of savory waffles with a hint of buttery maple syrup for a chip that hits the sweet spot. And they're due. These are gas. Like, 100% recommend you buy these. I don't even know what they cost. I'll put them in the buggy. They're probably way too much money, but they smell good. They taste good. I recommend 10 out of 10. Way better than some other crazy shit we tried on this podcast, or I've tried. Back into NCAA men's basketball. USF was down 20 in the second half, and they ended up coming back and beating number 10 Memphis. Basketball does this a lot. It's the whole time. That's all they do. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Bronny has high hopes and many low. Bronny James, the high hopes and the many lows of the USC season. I think USC overall is just kind of bad. I think their starting point guard got hurt. He's out for a little bit. So there's a lot going on. Kind of catch up. Your biggest news out of all this is because it's kind of where I'm going to lean is Tennessee Vols. Right now, we did lose to Mississippi State, which is not what we needed to have happen, but our biggest turnaround is Dalton Connect. This man is on a run. Baltimore just scored. He has multiple 35-point games for the first time in a really long time. Like, he's up there with, like, old heads of Tennessee basketball. Not like any of the guys recently, like, old heads. Like, guys that were playing when people my age wasn't even thought about type stuff. They won today. They beat Alabama. They beat Alabama 91-71. So Tennessee's on a tear. Obviously, inside me, I always think that we're going to end up fucking something up because I feel like we play really, really good and then just fall off. We fall asleep against bad teams or against teams that are not as good as us. And it's just awful. It's kind of like what our football team does. So hopefully we can keep that together. I just kind of fingers crossed is my biggest thing on it. looks like there's been some early bracketology come out. It looks like your overall top seed is going to be Purdue. Your first team out is going to be New Mexico. And your last team in is going to be Kansas State. On the bubble, last 4 byes, Texas Tech, Nevada, Northwestern, Nebraska. Last 4 in, Cincy, South Carolina, Kansas State, Wake Forest. First 4 out, New Mexico, Providence, Boise, Indiana State. Next 4 out, Colorado, Miami, Gonzaga, Ohio State. Those are all guys that are all teams that are on the bubble. Your 68 team bracket, if it was to start right now, your East number 1 is UConn. Your Midwest number 1 is Purdue. Your West number 1 is Houston, and your South number 1 is Kansas. They have Tennessee in as the number 2 in the Midwest. Hopefully we can win a couple more and maybe get bumped up some. I know if we win the SEC, it'll be hard not to put us in the top, considering we beat some of these bigger teams or, played well against some of these bigger teams. Connect had 39 in victory over Florida. They beat Florida 85-66. He hits a pair of 3-pointers to cap a 22-point first half against Florida. He had a really good comeback win against Georgia. He had 36 against Georgia, so he's the first player in a long time to score 30 plus points back to back. So he's also in the Wooden Award watch list. So we got some big things coming from that guy. I think he's ready to go pro, and it's good to finally have somebody that plays. They call him. Kevin Durant tweeted and said that man got that dog in him. He does. He's good. It's fun. I'm glad to see that he's getting recognition. We always want to see that. Kentucky obviously will probably be our biggest hiccup because Kentucky's always good. But the way I'm looking at it is we can win it. I don't see why we can't. We've done it before and we'll do it again. Overall, I feel like this is the most complete team in basketball that we have. Again, we have our issues, but even those teams have their issues. This team's really good defensively when they're clicking, and they're really good offensively. Connect really puts up a lot of offense with threes and such. So it's exciting to watch. Other than that, I don't really... Kentucky right now is beating Georgia. BYU is beating Texas. No other real big upsets coming from there. Obviously, Iowa State beat TCU, but that's the 24-19, so they're close. West Virginia did beat Kansas by 6, so Arizona beat UCLA. Nothing outrageous coming there. Villanova and UConn play tonight. Pitt and Duke play tonight, and Auburn and Ole Miss play tonight. So look for that. Auburn is leading the SEC, but they're ranked below us, so they're 4-0 in the SEC play. So in order to be top in the SEC, we need to. But that doesn't really matter yet. Right now, it's just a lot of craziness going on. Nothing outrageous. Women's basketball, our team's pretty mediocre, to be honest with you, which is sad because I'm a huge women's basketball fan. But we can run over the bracketology there. Had this argument with Logan on this podcast that no one's going to Colorado to play women's basketball, and no one's going there, that Dion didn't bring that culture of wanting to win there, and I think he did. Like, the women's basketball team's really good. I don't know if they were good before. Obviously, I've never followed them that close, but it looks like in women's, your last 4 byes are Penn State, Iowa State, Maryland, and Miami. Your last 4 in are Mississippi State, Arizona, Washington, and Arkansas. Your first 4 out are Middle Tennessee, Michigan, Villanova, California. Your next 4 out are Tennessee, St. Joseph, Auburn, and George Mason. Your 1 seeds are South Carolina, obviously, Iowa, obviously, UCLA, obviously, Colorado. I guess it's not as obvious about UCLA and Colorado, but you definitely know that South Carolina and Iowa are always going to be up top. Stanford's a 2 seed in the Albany region. No one else really that jumps out at me. NC State, UConn's a 2 seed in the Portland region. Portland 3. I don't really understand. I don't understand women's. There's not as many cities in women's basketball, I don't think. Van Deer ties Krzyzewski atop the NCAA wins list. So that's the head coach of Stanford women's basketball. So it's very interesting. This is the news to me. TCU women's basketball cancels 2 games due to player shortage. TCU's next 2 games have been canceled because the team does not have enough available players due to injury, the school announced Wednesday. The Horned Frogs were scheduled to play number 7 Kansas State on Wednesday night, Wednesday night, and number 24 Iowa State on Saturday. TCU said the cancellations were a result of injuries within the program and to ensure the health and safety of the program's student athletes. Under Big 12 rules, a school unable to field a team will forfeit the contest if no extraordinary circumstances exist. As a result, Iowa State and Kansas State will each be credited with a win and in the conference standings, and TCU will pick up 2 losses. Overall, records will not be impacted per NCAA policy. The university also took to social media on Wednesday to say that the women's basketball program would be holding open tryouts this week to look for walk-on players interested in joining the Horned Frogs for the remainder of the season. TCU point guard Jaden Owens suffered torn ACL and meniscus in her right knee against Houston on Saturday and will miss the rest of the season. 10 players saw action in that game. For Deja Turner, who attempted to play through a left ankle injury, announced Wednesday that she had had season-ending surgery. She averaging 2.2 points and 3-point rebounds per game this season. So not that great, but she's hurt. So senior Shadonna Pierce is also silent indefinitely after suffering a broken finger in early January. You can't play through a broken finger? I mean, that bitch must have been broke. The biggest news in women's basketball is Caitlin Clark passes Brittany Griner for 4th on the NCAA scoring list, and she's close to beating it within a few weeks. It says Iowa guard Caitlin Clark moved to 4th on the NCAA women's basketball career scoring list Tuesday, passing Baylor standout Brittany Griner. The number 2 Hawkeyes are on won their 15th game in a row. Clark now has 3,306 points. Clark scored a game-high 32 as Iowa defeated visiting Wisconsin 96-50. The Hawkeyes were without starting forward Hannah Stukel, but still beat the Badgers for the 29th consecutive time. Iowa, 18-1 overall, leads the Big Ten at 7-0. Clark also led the Hawkeyes with 7 rebounds and 5 assists. For the 3rd consecutive game, she made 6 of the Hawkeyes' 15 three-pointers. Clark came into the game with 3,274 points, needing 10 to move past Griner. She got that on a free throw with 7:02 left in the second quarter. The senior has scored in double figures in every game at Iowa except one in her freshman year. Next on the scoring list is former Missouri State guard Jackie Stiles, who scored 3,393 points from 97 to 01. Clark needs 88 to pass her. In second is guard Kelsey Mitchell, 3,402 from 2014 to 2018 at Ohio State. And first is guard Kelsey Plum, who I loved watching, with 3,527 from 13 to 17 at Washington. Plum, Las Vegas Aces, and Mitchell, Indiana Fever, are currently WNBA standouts as is Griner, Phoenix Mercury. Clark is now averaging 31 points per game. At her current pace, she can move into first place in the 2nd or 3rd week of February. She's made at least one three-pointer in 76 consecutive games and at least 2 threes in 45 consecutive games. The latter streak is the longest in Division I over the past 25 seasons. She's just so good. Clark has led both her team and the opponent in scoring in 29 consecutive games going back to last season. That is the 2nd longest streak over the last 25 years, trailing only former Delaware star Elena Deladon. Deladon, Washington Mystics, scored 3,039 points for the Blue Hens from 2009 to 2013. Wisconsin is the 26th different opponent against which Clark has scored at least 30 points. That includes every Big Ten program except Purdue, against which Clark had her 15th career triple-double last week. Iowa next travels to number 18 Ohio State Sunday for what's anticipated to be one of the Hawkeyes' tougher road games. She's good, man. It's really crazy to watch, and I know the former guy that's here, oh, it's women's basketball. It doesn't matter. Women's basketball matters. It's fun to watch, especially when somebody can shoot the lights out. She's going to go number one overall. I don't think anyone can even come close. They obviously, here we go, mock draft. Mock draft Caitlin Clark to Indiana Fever, which is cool because she's going to kind of stay closer to home. Cameron Brink, number 2 to the Spark, LA Sparks. The Phoenix Mercury is going to take Paige Beckers at UConn, who's really good as well. Seattle Storm is taking Camila Cardoso from South Carolina. And then number 5 is Rakia Jackson, the power forward at Tennessee. So it'll be cool. It's obviously they don't take it. We don't know for a fact, but that's kind of where we're at. Rakia is averaging 19.4 points per game. Injury has limited Jackson. It's 19.4 points per game and 9 rebounds per game to 8 games this season. That has made it even clearer how vital she is to Tennessee, which struggles without her. Jackson is just 7 of 25 to the three-point range this season, and for her career, 71 of 238 from behind the arc. That percentage needs to improve, but at least Jackson has shown she has a legitimate range as a part of her potential pro game. So there's a lot of cool going on there. I'm kind of glad to see that Angel Reese is set to go 8 to Atlanta Dream. So she's not going number 1. She's not that great. We've all kind of figured that out. She's also seems like she's got a bad attitude, but that's not my full expertise. That kind of rounds out. I know that UFC's got a big fight coming up tonight. I might try to throw it on. It is Sean Strickland versus Dricus Duplessis. Strickland's been all over. He got in some hot water because he said something. He called a Toronto guy basically told him to shut the fuck up because he was talking about, do you think you care? We're a big city on backing the gay, and he's like, if you're a gay man, would you this and other? I think some of his takes are a little much because I don't really full on believe in all thatness, but I think he's a pretty good fighter, and him and Dricus it's gonna go hard. It's gonna be a good fight night. I'm trying to see who else is on this card. Yeah, your main event is going to be the title fight for Dricus Duplessis versus Sean Strickland. And then your women's bantamweight title fight is going to happen tonight. Rockwell Pennington versus Maria Buenos Avila. Neil Mangi is fighting Mike Malott. No one else that I really know here. Obviously, if our resident UFC expert Logan was here, he could tell us more. The early rounds of the fights are already going on ESPN Plus, so I'll keep you updated on that. Hopefully we get a fucking sick knockout in something tonight. I'd like to watch some recaps of that. NFL head coaching hires. Antonio Pierce was kept by the Raiders, which a lot of players said they were going to leave if they didn't. The Falcons did a second interview with Bill Belichick. As a Bill Belichick fan, I think that's cool. Maybe I'll get to see him coach in person. It also come out that he tried to trade Mac Jones, and they turned him down for trading Mac Jones. So it's pretty interesting what's going on. I'll be excited because the Falcons are going to have early picks too, just like the Patriots were. So it'll be interesting to see who a Falcons pick at quarterback for Belichick to go with, as well as New England. I'm hoping we get somebody good. I'd like to see us get Jay Daniels, but who knows what Gerard Mayo's going to do. It's one of them things. I'm hoping for the best. I really am. That's kind of all on our sports front. I've covered all of it I can. Nothing else really. The UFLs should be starting soon. It doesn't show online here, but let me see here. Let's jump over here and see what we can find. Gotta go to Twitter and see what they say here. We'll see what we got any good news. Set to kick off on the 30th of Saturday, March 30th. So that'll be exciting. I'm kind of ready for that. It'll give me something to talk about, give me something to watch. So kind of go from there. It's still listed as the XFL online. That's why you can't find anything, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. But we'll see what we can figure out. Nothing too crazy going on in the world. Sports Illustrated has gone, they fired everybody. So that's pretty interesting. That's really the only other big news that I know that's kind of coming out this week. Obviously, I could go here to trending, and it's going to show me my trend, the United States trending, Lamar Jackson. It's all sports stuff right now. It's nothing that really isn't sports related, because obviously my trending always is sports stuff. It's never anything different. In the news trending, it's like Doge is trending. That's very, very funny. Shiloh and Shadur walked for Pharrell at the Louis Vuitton Fashion Week in Paris, and Deion Sanders Jr. got to film it. So shout out to those guys. Been a big fan of Deion. Deion and I follow each other on Deion Sanders Jr. and I follow each other on Twitter and have for a really long time. Now it's X, obviously, but it was Twitter when we started following each other. I've always kind of been a big proponent of what he does. He's always interested me. I think he's a pretty cool dude. So I really think that's where I'll call it. To be honest, it's just really hard doing these. It's been a shit show here in East Tennessee. We got 8.5 inches of snow dumped on us here in Carnes, up to like 9 in some parts of Knoxville, from what I understand. So it's real fucking sucked, to be honest with you. It's been cold. It's not been fun. Everybody's like, oh, it's great. No, I've been trapped inside. I am going to start trying to trade my Lincoln, so hopefully you'll get some vlogs out of me trying to trade my Lincoln and kind of seeing what's out there and what I'm looking for, and we'll kind of go from there. Hopefully I can trade up to something cool. I'm looking for maybe a pickup truck, maybe buy another car. I'm really wanting a Mustang, so maybe I can figure out something. Hopefully we'll get that taken care of. Work's been going good, so I guess just stay tuned, guys. I really hope that this will take off once it comes spring. I know there's a lot of big things coming out of what I want to do car-wise. The vlogs are definitely going to be all pretty much car-based. I got a lot of car stuff coming out of there. Maybe some family stuff. I'm taking a trip to Jersey in a few weeks, so there'll be a Jersey vlog. First legal state, so everybody's happy with that. It'll definitely be a fun adventure. Just kind of stay tuned. Thanks for sticking with me, and I hope you guys enjoy the pod. I know this isn't probably everybody's cup of tea, but I know there's some people who like to listen to me because it's soothing, and they may not know what I'm talking about, but they like it. So you guys have a good one. Stay tuned. Keep doing big things, and peace.